Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. Yay, fancy heater thingy. Hey, we're in here again today. Yeah, it's my birthday, 16th of August, I'm 29, and I feel like I'm just a big kid still. I'll be 30 next year, and I don't know, the convention is to have a big 30th birthday party, but I don't know if I will. I'm hoping I'll be gigging again then, so then I can just say, hey everyone, come party with me, with my band, doing this thing, buy our merch, give us money, give me money, sign up to my Patreon. Nah, yeah, I don't know. Birthdays are kind of a weird thing when you're depressed, because it's hard to get excited about it. It's like, yay, another year older. I don't know, like I get a bit of that cynical sort of thing about, oh, we just did another circle around the sun, big whoop. But I think it's actually mostly the depression that makes it hard for me to give a shit that I'm a year older. I mean, especially when you've been suicidal and you're like, yay, another year that I've survived this crap. Yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, as a kid you get all excited because there's the fuss, there's the presents, there's the party, but some people still like that. It definitely changes for adults a bit. A lot of people bring in drinking, and then, yeah, whatever else people do, I don't know. But for me, I think depression has killed my whole birthday excitement. But, yeah, I don't know. With the gift-giving thing, if you ask me what I want, it's hard for me to come up with anything. Yeah, you probably are just better off giving me money rather than buying me stuff, because most people don't really get what's going through my head and buy me stuff that I'm not really that into. Even people who seem to have known me well sometimes do that. Occasionally you get someone who's spot on and you're like, wow, that's a really cool gift. But generally, like, being depressed, you're kind of like, thanks for the thought, but it's just going to sit on the shelf here and do nothing forever until I eventually throw it out, depending on what it is. And then, yeah, just, I don't party, really. I mostly just go to gigs. Yeah, whatever. But, you know, Mum asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and, you know, Japanese have a pretty big gift-giving culture, and I mean, I like giving gifts. I think that's more fun than receiving them. Because it is kind of like problem solving, you know, you have to sort of listen throughout the year and pick up hints about what they want, and then you can buy them something that they're like, how did you even think of this? And that's kind of fun. Receiving presents is a bit awkward for me, just because of that, like, you know, most of the time I don't actually want whatever it is. And also, being depressed, it's a lot harder to appreciate stuff. But yeah, Mum asked me what I wanted, and I said I didn't know, and she said, well, if you don't tell me something, I'm gonna buy you some undies and socks or whatever. And yeah, that's why I started thinking about stuff. There are some things like, so when I'm thinking about stuff that I want for my birthday, I'm more thinking about things that I need or that would be useful. And there are some things that I want for my music project further down the track, but I think it's too early to actually go out and buy any, so I'm like, oh, okay. But then I remembered, like, my brother got one of these Dyson ones for himself a week or so ago, and he's right into it. He's got it on connected to the app, and it tells you about the air quality, and you can control it from your phone and all that. I just used the little remote, because, like, real buttons, how cool are real buttons? But yeah, he's looking at the air quality, and I think he's kind of, yeah, it's probably more fun for a boy, because boys like to do, he's probably farting in front of it and going, ooh, look at that air quality spike. But, no, having a look at it, it's actually quite a good heater, whereas I've been using this little white metal thing It's got these slats that I think are filled with oil, and you turn it on and it gradually heats up. And then this is the coldest room in the house, and it doesn't do a very good job in here. So, you know, I usually stick it under my desk and then hope that the hot air wafts up from underneath, and that's how I stay warm in here, along with my jumpers and my hunten. Yeah, so this thing is really good for heating. And then I was also thinking about Australian summer's really shit. I mean, part of the reason I've timed my Japan trip for the end of the year is so that I can escape a decent chunk of Australian summer. Like, winter's okay, you can rug up. It's, you know, the winter has its own issues, but it's a lot easier to stay a good temperature compared to summer. Summer's just inescapable. There's only so much you can strip down. Yeah, and a while back my parents were talking about getting air conditioning in all the kids' rooms, but like, that'd be so expensive. That's 3 rooms. And then you've got to install them, and then they cost a lot to run as well. So it's not really a great option and whatever. So I was like, well, if I have a decent fan and the Dyson does do the cooling thing, I think the cooling, like, it's not aircon cooling, it's more just like, you know, your fan type cooling. But if you remember my video for all the fans with the big silver fan, yeah, fuck that thing. It's big and noisy, and it's definitely heavier, and when you put it away for winter, it just gathers so much dust in all the slats, and it's fucking impossible to clean, and just, yeah, no. So, when Mum's talking to me, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, what do I need? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, Dyson thingy! So it kind of solves my heating and some of my cooling problems, so hopefully summer, when I'm not in Japan, will be a bit more bearable. The contrast is going to be a little bit awful, like going from Australian summer to the middle of Japanese winter, back to Australian summer. But now I have something a little bit better to make things a bit more comfortable, although I probably will still spend more of my time in the room where we do have aircon. It gets pretty bad. It's kind of funny seeing Europe going, oh, it's 30 degrees, we have a heat wave. And I'm like, that's just that's a cold day on an Australian summer. Of course, they laugh at us when we get all cold in winter, because our winters are just probably like their usual summers, I don't know. Yeah, so, Dyson thingy, practical thing that I need, something that I couldn't really buy on my own. I don't really have money at the moment, so thanks, Mum! And yeah, it's been really good. It's made my life a lot more comfortable. I think it's a good present. But yeah, so what is it? It's 2017. It's about 5 years since we got Hope. Another good present. Present, or I don't know, it's weird to think of an animal as a gift. But no, what happened is, so 5 years ago, the previous year we'd had to put Max down, and then earlier that year we had to put Ali down, and that was really sad for me. I mean, it's sad for everyone, but because I'm not a social person, it's really difficult. I mean, I don't like hanging out with lots of people. It drains me a bit. But at the same time, I can't escape the fact that humans are social creatures. So, you know, we do get lonely even if we don't like other people. The good thing about a dog is it fills that void, but without being a full-on person that's gonna, I don't know, annoy you in some way. You know, Hope's really good. And he's helpful. He wakes me up in the morning, and you know, my alarm goes off, he jumps up, licks me, and it's hard to say no to that kind of a wake up. Whereas if it was a person doing that, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, so dogs are really good. The way we got Hopi, yeah, after we had to put Ali down, she was my old Labrador. You've probably seen some videos of her. She's such a sweetie. She was really intelligent, a little bit chubby, but She's a Labrador. Labradors get chubby most of the time, except for Marley, but I'll talk about him later. Yeah, Hopi. I said I wanted a puppy. Had to convince the family that I wasn't trying to replace my old dog. I just wanted to bring a new one into my life. Because it was a little bit soon, I guess. But Mum found this rescue shelter out west, Western Sydney. And they're a no-kill shelter that takes in pregnant dogs. A lot of places don't take pregnant dogs, or they just put them down straight away rather than having to deal with more dogs after the birth that they have to find homes for. So I guess we're kind of lucky to find this place, and they had a litter at the right time. So we went up there. I gather that the mother was a Maltese. We didn't see her though. Like, I don't even know if she would have survived the childbirth. On their website they've got some dogs that have been handed in really bad shape, so it's quite possible that, you know, they managed to save the babies and hand raised them and whatever. And maybe the mum didn't survive, or maybe she did and was just still not in good shape, or I don't know. The things people do to their dogs are pretty terrible. But so their mum's a Maltese, and they think the dad was probably a Chihuahua, so they're calling them Maltese Chihuahuas. So when we get there, there's this pen full of dogs, and they go from these fluffy Maltese to these tiny Chihuahua kind of look. Of course, they're all puppies, they're all tiny, but, you know, you've got the whole variety. I had kind of eyeballed Hopi from the website before we went up, but, you know, you've got to actually connect with the dogs and see which one fits. So most of them are coming up and like, yeah, pick me up. So you pick them up and cuddle them and all. But Hopi was the anxious one. He's sort of standing back like, I don't know if I want a stranger to pick me up. But eventually I grabbed him and was patting him. And back then I had a few dreads in, and he was the only dog to sit there and go, ooh, a dread, I'm going to nibble that. And I was just like, yep, he's nibbling my dread, he's my dog. Gotta have a dog that likes dreads. So yeah, that's how we got Hopi. And I'll chase him around. I don't know, I've been talking for too long. I was gonna film him, but maybe next week. I don't know, do you want to see more dog videos? I think I did get a request for more dog videos, actually. Alright, let's do that. I guess while I'm here, I'll talk about how we found Marley as well. We actually got Marley from the same rescue shelter, but about a year later. But unlike Hopi, who was a puppy, he was actually maybe 2 or 3 years old. We don't actually know his age, just like a rough ballpark. So he actually had been through some abuse at that point. But originally, I think after about a year of having Hopi, you know, we always had the small dog and the big dog, little Max and Big Allie. So just having a small dog, I mean, I was fine with it. He's easy to look after and all that kind of stuff. You know, his poos are tiny, his hair doesn't shed that much, and when it does shed, it's only a small amount because he's only a tiny dog. Yeah, just really manageable. But I think Mum was feeling a bit like, oh, I miss Allie, it was nice having a big dog, and blah, 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 blah. So, you know, she convinced Dave that he needed a dog. If I had a dog, he needs a dog. So, yeah, she went to the same website and found they had a Labrador called Lily. And so we were like, okay, let's arrange to meet this Lily. But I think maybe the day before we went, or something like that, they called us and saying, actually, you know, there's a problem, Lily's not ready after all. But you can come and have a look at this other Labrador called Marley. You know, he's not quite ready too, but you can take him home if you like him. So we're like, yeah, okay, well, we'll give it a go. We did hope for a female Labrador just because, like, you know, female dog might be a bit better with Mikey. Mikey's my disabled brother. Yeah, I've got 2 brothers. Mikey's a disabled one, and Dave's the... He's still a bit weird. I used to think he was the normal one, but he's not normal. None of us are fucking normal. He's so funny. But yeah, so, anyway, Mom, Dave, dog, we went up. Shit, I fucking lost my train of thought. But yeah, no, we were like, okay, we did want a female dog, but we'll give this one a go, we'll have a look. I mean, Labradors are still a good breed for, you know, being nice. you know, small dog's okay. Like, he's not, Hope's not an aggressive small dog. But they're a bit anxious and they don't really connect with Mikey so much. So let's go see this Labrador, and we don't have to take it home, and it'll be a nice drive. So we go there, and Marley was actually really quite friendly. Hope was terrified, but Hope doesn't really like other dogs. It took a while for him to warm up to Marley, and he's still a little bit like rah 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 at him. But they get along these days. We established Hope as the top dog to try and, you know, calm down his anxiety. But yeah, he's not a fan of dogs. Anyway, and Marley, like, you know, Dave walked him around the yard there and, you know, was okay. But the moment he was sold was when he sat down to pat Marley, and Marley, like, flipped over into his lap and was all, pat me, I love pats. But, so we took him home and everything's been good. But there were a few things about Marley. He's actually been through some abuse. We don't know what happened to him, but we can tell that he's been through some abuse, because when we brought him home, we tried to feed him the one big meal like we used to do with Ali, our previous Labrador, and he just threw up. So Dave had to take him to the vet, and they told us, yeah, no, he's been starved way too badly. His stomach can't handle it. You're going to have to give him 3 tiny meals a day and just build him up. And so we've built him up to now to 2 medium meals a day. But I think that's, yeah, we're not going to do the 1 meal a day thing with him. And he's still skinny. That's like, you know, I was saying just before, Ali was a fat Labrador, and a lot of Labradors are fat because they fucking love food. But Marley's really skinny, and I think it's partly because of this starvation thing. I mean, we leave Hope's food bowl out with food. Hope's like a cat. He just wants to eat whenever he wants to eat. At least with the dry food. I think cats prefer wet food, and you just leave the dry food out. Hope will try and scavenge what he can from you, and then when there's no good human food, he'll be like, all right, I'll eat my goddamn biscuits. Yeah, but so we leave that bowl out, and Marley does not touch it. If it's inside the bowl, Marley doesn't touch it. But if it's outside the bowl, it's fair game. But yeah, so for a Labrador, he's got a pretty good handle on his food-based discipline. But yeah, so that's the first sign that he's been abused. The second sign is if we made sudden movements, he used to flinch, like, ooh. And yeah, so obviously someone's been hitting him, like, you know, be like, and he'd, oh no, don't hit me. Yeah, it's such a, like, people who do this shit to their dogs. But it's made Marley, like, he's a really obedient guy, you know, he really desperate to do things that please you, and I mean, probably a side effect of the abuse. But then again, Labradors are like that anyway. Labradors really want to please you. They're a really friendly breed. And then the other thing, if you spray fly spray or certain other things, I think with a petrochemical smell, I think he gets a bit weird about WD-40 as well. I'm not sure. It's a bit hard to tell what he's going to react to, but definitely fly spray. If you spray that shit, Marley freaks out and starts woofing all the time, and I'm just like, what the fuck did these people do to him with the fly spray? My goodness. So, you know, we've been trying to get him to not freak out so much, because it's Australia, sometimes you want to spray a fly, although we try and avoid doing it. But yeah, anytime he does get anxious, I mean, he's so sensitive, I think sometimes he smells it from over the fence as well. So he, like, if he goes crazy for no reason, because he doesn't woof that much, it's usually just when he's upset about something, or if there's someone at the door and he's trying to say hello. Those are really the only 2 times that he'll woof a lot. Yeah, so we just try and comfort him and all that, but I think whatever happened there, it's probably not going to leave him. You know, he's stopped flinching, he can eat better, but the fly spray anxiety is still around, and yeah. But so that's Marley. He's been through a lot, but he's so much happier these days, and like, that's why you should always try and rescue a dog. You know, generally the rescue houses will know if they're going to be family friendly or whatever. And like, Marley's just, you can tell that he's so happy that we picked him up, and he moved into a better life, you know. He's just, he does this thing now where he like, he doesn't mind if you deny him food, because obviously he's been starved in the past. He's happy to get whatever food he can get. But what he really loves is a hug. He will demand hugs like crazy. So he's even worked out how to sort of nudge you from underneath and just sort of poke his head up and be like, pat me, give me a pat. Fucking adorable. But anyway, that's a ramble about birthdays and puppies. I've had Hopi for 5 years, and he's asleep on my bed at the moment, but I guess I can wait a bit and chase him and give you some puppies to take us out. Hey, Hopi. You sleepy, are you? Yeah, you don't give a shit. Go away, Mum. I'm nice and warm. Let me sleep. Alright. Who is it, Marley? What is it, Hope? Who's there? Who's there? Woof! Woof! Who is it? Woof! Who is it? Hopi! Howl! 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 Hopi! 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 Howl! No? Uh-oh. Hopi! Howl! Good boy. Alright. Do you want a treat? Do you want a treat? Yeah, let's get a treat!